Who else? Who can maybe provide a test? Who can maybe be a challenger and a contender elsewhere around the Eastern Conference?
Top two is going to be a runaway. But I guess if I had to choose, Ben, it's going to be the Knicks. At least they have the talent to somehow upset teams that are better than them, but they can't in the regular season. Maybe it changes in the playoffs.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
We know what Chris Sale can bring. I was personally high on Schwallenbach. Smith Shawver, their other starter, looks okay to kind of bad. They need to I don't want to say tread waters. I think that puts it in a bad light, but that's what they ultimately need to do. They need to tread water until Strider gets back, until Acuna gets back, and maybe it's just part of the team morale mentality that we're not at full strength, need to kick things into gear once those guys get here.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
They have already decided, it would appear to me, from what you're telling me, that they're satisfied with the quarterback room as it stands now.
Shedeur Sanders does not have the value to go at number 3. I know they need a quarterback. It's about this season with Russell Wilson, okay? No question he's going to be the starter. Winston will back him up. But the future they can get next year.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pits, the players, the hustlers, the people, the busters, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun on the SportsGrid radio and television network, Sirius XM channel 159. Hopefully we do better tonight on the program, and it's a better show than Connor Hellebuck's show is this evening. As Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets had an opportunity to eliminate the St. Louis Blues, and they were in the game. And in fact, it was a tie hockey game. The Winnipeg Jets scored a goal that was disallowed. Then they scored again, and they were actually taking control of the game, and it looked like they had some momentum. But truth be told, the Winnipeg Jets would have a good of a chance with me between the pipes than they do with Connor Hellebuck on the road, which really is insanity, like just straight out insanity. And I'll ask you out there right now, and you can answer me in the chat on X. You can respond at SportsRage. And I'm thinking to myself, is there a player in any sport where the dichotomy is as extreme as it is with the home road splits as Connor Hellebuck's? You know what I mean? Like, you hear, Jared Goff when he's outdoors and stuff. And a lot of the sort of public narratives are overplayed and they're over-exaggerated, right? They're over-exaggerated, I think. But this is not. Like, Connor Hellebuck, what is it now? 1-10 in his last 11 road playoff games. Coming into tonight, Connor Hellebuck, last 6 road playoff games, 0-6, goals against, 5.72, save percentage, 8.35. Tonight's numbers haven't helped these numbers at all either. And we're talking about a player that people are talking about for the most valuable player of the National Hockey League. Come on. I mean, that's like if SGA in the NBA scores, 32 points a night in Oklahoma City and scores 0 on the road. It's like he can't really be the MVP because you can't score 0 points. Like I'm dead serious. Like how much worse would it be if I was the goalie right now tonight? I haven't played in a while, but okay, they're down 5-1. Like if I was the goalie for the Winnipeg Jets tonight, there hasn't really been that many shots on goal, to be honest with you. And the ones that have been on goal, he hasn't stopped. I'm trying to be realistic right now. Let's say like me right now, I'm a little fragile now. So I'm thinking, all right, in my prime, what would the score be? I don't know, maybe 9-1, 8-1. I don't think it would be much worse. It's almost like if, you could get a bunch of your stone buddies and say, you want to go play some basketball, and you could have played against the Cleveland Cavaliers, how much worse would you have done again than the Miami Heat did? Right? I mean, they were down by 65 or something at one point. You figure, all right, me and my boys will be down by 80. So, hey, we're hanging. Hey, the Miami Heat lost. The Heat were down by 50 at the half. We're only down by 72 at the half. That's not bad, But I'm not, seriously, it's really baffling to me. Connor Hellebuck as well. And this is the problem with Connor Hellebuck. He thinks too much. And, I don't want to get into, psychiatry too much here, but the fact of the matter is, you can't dwell on mistakes in your own life. You can't dwell in the past. You can't live in the past, right? And all those sort of Tony Robbins cliches and all this, they really are true, right? Like, you can't think. You know what I mean? If you think too much, overanalysis leads to paralysis and handicapping it in life. And, Connor Hellebuck is not, he's not like a typical athlete, this guy. You know what I mean? Like some guys, are just sort of dumb jocks. They're not very smart. They do this, they do that, right? And or they have like a type of, character that it doesn't bother them after they fail and they're able to move on and it's fine. Anybody that knows Connor Hellebuck, I mean, this guy, I don't know if this guy majored in psychiatry or something, but, he's like, after a game that they lose, he speaks like he's a heart surgeon that blew a surgery or something. It's like, bro, it's a freaking hockey game, all right? All your teammates are a bunch of drunk dudes. This isn't like, we're not playing 4D chess here. Just stop the damn puck, all right? I don't care what, Sigmund Freud thinks or what Einstein thinks, because he can tell you, well, and I swear to God, his post-game press conferences, this guy, you think he's on a couch in a shrink's office, and it's like, I've seen this before, and I'm like, man, this guy thinks way too much. Like, if you're a goalie, too, you have a lot of time. I was a goalie. You have a lot of time to think. You're standing there, right? You're looking at girls in the crowd. Your trash people are talking to you, and it's a very isolated position. So you have a lot of time to think. The action's in front of you. Sort of like a baseball player, like daydreaming in the outfield, right? Even the pros start to do it. So your mind can start to wander. Like you saw, when they went up 2-1, he gave up a goal right after because he's still rattled about the goal before. Right? You know what I mean? If you're going to be a professional athlete, I can't believe I'm telling this to Connor Hellebuck, but, defensive backs, cornerbacks in the NFL, all right, you gave up a play, whatever. Dude, get up, talk smack, push the guy, and play on. Right? Move on to the next play. Hellebuck starts thinking about how he's letting the city of Winnipeg down. He's letting his teammates down. He just thinks way too much. But they do have the best record in the league, right? So they could technically still survive. I think they're going to beat the Blues in Game 7 in Winnipeg. So they're going to go on to the next round. And the fact of the matter is they can't win on the road because Connor Hellebuck sucks on the road. But maybe they should just play a backup on the road. We'll get into this later. I know it's bold. They won't do it because that'll break his confidence because, like I said, the dude's soft. But, they do have home ice advantage against anybody that they play, right? They won the President's Cup. They have the best record in the league. So, they could technically suck in every road game and get lit up in every road game. But as long as you don't lose at home, you need to win every home game that you play in every series. That's the only way the Winnipeg Jets can win the Stanley Cup. And breaking news, the Winnipeg Jets will not be winning the Stanley Cup. But I do think they're going to win Game 7. All right, we got a Game 6 going on right now in the Bay Area. We did the Bay Area two-step tonight. Little money line parlay. Golden State Warriors to win. San Francisco Giants to win. -113. We also played the over, the Rockets and the Warriors game, over 208. It's 46-40 right now. Little under 3 minutes remaining in the first half of play. We're at a TV timeout right now. Total is 205.5. So it's sort of on pace, even though I'd like to see a little late push here of points. Houston are bringing it, but Golden State are going to go on a run eventually. Will it be enough of a run to cover the point spread? We'll find out. UFL football. We've got a real classic going on here. You're going to see a 30 for 30 about this in 10 years. And it was a Friday night, and the Arlington Renegades took on the St. Louis Battlehawks. And what transpired at the St. Louis Trans-America Dome was unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievably boring. 9-0 right now for the St. Louis Battlehawks. I guess that's the good news. The good news is we are on the Battlehawks. The bad news is we're on the over 42. I don't think that's going to happen. In-game total is currently 21 and a half. The Arlington Renegades average like 24 points a game. They're one of the teams, both these teams are like the more higher scoring teams in this league in which nobody can score in, but there's actually been 8 straight overs in the UFL for those of you paying attention like we do. And so there's been 8 straight overs. So it was like 7-1 to the under to start the season. And then boom, it's exploded. The last 2 weeks, every game has gone over. And then the odds makers have adjusted. It's up to like 42s right now. This game, nowhere near it. The Battlehawks got stuffed on 4th and goal once earlier in the game. Max Duggan, former TCU Horned Frog, is the quarterback of the Battlehawks. And he's kind of average, but he's making plays with his feet. Both defenses are good, so it's a 9-0 football game. We'll keep our eye on that as well as the Major League Baseball as well. And down the stretch they come. Let's do this thing, Kentucky Derby style. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. We've got our eye on the Bay Area right now, the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Another elimination game. Houston Rockets playing well so far tonight, except, you know, in these games, when you're the road team, you've got to get like a double-digit lead and stuff like that. Like, it's like, oh, we're up by 5, we're up by 6. Like, dude, you know the home team's going to go on a run. And right on cue, Curry has just hit a 3 to tie the basketball game at 46. So about $1.50 left in the first half of play. We did the Bay Area two-step tonight. Little same city parlay for some fun. Golden State on the money line and the San Francisco Giants to beat the Colorado Rockies. Although the Rockies did win last night, the Rockies have their longest win streak of the season, going 2 coming into tonight. I think it snaps at 2. Give me the Giants in the parlay. I also got the over in a basketball game, and I laid the 5 with the Warriors, which I didn't really want to do, but I figured if they're going to win, they're probably going to cover. Let's bring Tommy Lorenzo and Cam Stewart in. Tommy, good to see you in Vegas. How you doing tonight, Tommy?
Doing really well, thank you. Getting ready for the Derby. Can't wait.
You know what? I'm fired up. I always get fired up for the Derby as well. We had to scratch, so it's kind of interesting with the numbers are the same. So they're going to wear the same silks. They have the same numbers, but everybody's moved up a spot in the post, in the gate. So, it's a little, you got to sort of understand that. If you believe, some people sort of dismiss this stuff, and they're like, I don't care about the history of the gates. I don't want to hear what happened in 1948. Okay, but put it this way, a horse from the 17 post has never won before. So, right? So some of this history means something. How about this? There's been 100 in every Kentucky Derby in the history of 132 of them. Only 5 horses in between 17 and 20 have won. That's wild. Like, it's the kiss of death when you're on the outside. It just is. The numbers speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Unless you got Secretariat there, a Northern Dancer or something, and you want to try to mess with history, you're going into a tough zone with these horses. But we'll get to the Derby in a couple of minutes, and we'll give everybody the numbers as post position history. But NBA basketball, 51-46. One of the Rockets just scored a couple of quick points. So Rockets up a 5 spot. We're going to be going to the half. Cam, good call on the Rockies last night, although I don't know how many times you've taken the Rockies and lost, so I don't want to give you too much credit.
Low blow. They're low blow there, Gabe. I just had a good feeling last night. Actually, I'm straight up telling you the truth. I do bet on a lot of bad teams, and I like my dumpster picks, but I haven't bet on the Rockies very much this year. They're historically bad. I just really like them. And Verlander's getting older, and the team, it was just a spot for them last night, Gabe. So, yeah, I got a win. I lost on the Angels, though, with my other pooch.
Tommy, our Dodgers, Yamamoto had a no-hitter going, and then everybody online in the media had to mush him, bro.
Yeah.
I know it has nothing to do with it, but I didn't say anything. I saw it, and I'm like, nah, let me just let it ride out and stuff. But even the Dodgers Twitter account and every Major League Baseball, Yamamoto's got a no-hitter through 5 and stuff. And I'm like, you guys. And then, of course, right away in the 6. But I know it has nothing to do with it. But let's see, Tommy, if the Dodgers can hang on tonight as minus 170 favorites in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's good to see Yamamoto pitch so well. I'm heavily invested in his Cy Young futures with Schwellenbach, the guy who's going for the Braves against the Dodgers tomorrow. So every Yamamoto start is important because I'm a Dodger fan, but even more important because I got, heavily invested on him in the Cy Young market. And, him losing the Skeens last week wasn't good, but seeing him bounce back and the staying strong in that race is good. We'll see what the Dodgers do. I had him on the run line tonight, so that Matt Olson home run was not good that Kirby Yates gave up. But, there's still a little hope if they resume this, if the rain lets up.
He was the pitcher that I trusted the most last year in the playoffs. And I believe, he's our best pitcher. He's our most trustable guy. Sasaki, by the end of the year, is going to be a stud, too. Mm-hmm. But I think Yamamoto, who's a better pitcher in baseball? And, look, this guy, he's still figuring things out. He was a rookie last year in Major League Baseball. So this is, his second time through here. And a lot of times pitchers will get figured out the second time, like in year 2 or whatnot. It's the other way around. He's figured you out. It's like he's getting better and he's getting harder to hit, not easier to hit. And all you need to know about Yamamoto, he's given up just 1 hit. He 1 hit 6 innings in Atlanta tonight. His season stats now: 40 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed, 49 strikeouts, 0.9 earned run average. It's like, what can you say? Better than that. The only knock I'd say, Tommy, with him and Sasaki, and it's starting to catch up to our other guys, is the Japanese guys need to pitch every 6 days instead of every 5.
Yeah, very true. And that's something the Dodgers are going to have to manage. And I don't know if they're good at managing it, but they have no problems with, phantom back injuries, hamstring injuries, things like that. and they give their pitchers some breaks, going into, August, September. They did it with Kershaw a lot. So, we'll see, with the injuries right now, how they manage, the days off and things like that. Because, you got Blake Snell on the shelf, Logan Gilbert again. So, no, not Logan Gilbert. The other righty.
I was going to say, did I miss?
Wow, that'd be
Tyler Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow. Yeah, I was going to say, Logan Gilbert's on the Dodgers now. Great. What happened?
It's over, baby. What about Gratterall?
That's the other tall righty who's injured.
Gratterall coming back off that surgery? So is he going to be back soon? He's important. Gabe, do you know?
No.
Has he had off-season surgery? And is there a timeline for this guy? For Gratterall?
Yeah, no.
He's huge.
He's very important too, but I haven't heard anything. So, they have all those pitchers on the shelf, and we'll see. But they're going to have to manage their pitching again if they're going to make a run like they did last year. I think they're a little fortunate last year. They were so thin, but we'll see what happens as the season goes on.
Gratterall is projected to come back in late July, August.
Okay.
He's projected to miss the full first half of the season. Listen, I don't know what to expect. The guy's got a torn labrum coming back from the surgery. But listen, you know what was great? Gonsolin looked great. That's very positive. Dustin May is back. He's looked great. Tony Gonsolin was very sharp at his first start back. And Clayton Kershaw is going to be back in like a week or two as well. Like, he's right around the corner.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J. Games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's do this thing. This is SportsRage, a Friday night free show. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, SiriusXM channel 159. All right, we got the Kentucky Derby. And I was talking earlier about how post positions and the history of post positions matter and about the history of this stuff. So I'll rattle it off quickly for everybody tuning in right now on SiriusXM channel 159 as well. The one post, 8 wins in 95 starts. You got to remember, There's been different, there wasn't always 20 horses and all this. So there's been different amount of starts for different posts. 8 wins, 95 starts last winter. 1986, the one horse. 1986, the last time. Last time a horse in the 2-hole won was 1978. Last time a horse in the 3-hole won was last year. 6 overall wins last winter, 2024. The 4-post, 5 wins and 94 starts. Last winter, 2010. The 5-hole, 10 wins, and that's the most successful post, guys. In the history, seems like the 4 to 10 is where the wins happen. 6 wins for 3, 5 wins for 4, 10 wins for 5, only 2 wins for 6, surprisingly enough, huh? 1993, the last time a 6-horse won. 8 wins for 7, last in 2021. 9 wins for 8, last time in 2023. 4 wins for the 9-hole, last time 1972. The 10 spot. I like the 10 spot. You're right in the middle. So 9 wins and 88 starts last winter, 2005. The 11-hole has not been kind. 2 wins and 84 starts last winter, 1988. 12-hole, 3 wins and 80 starts last winter, 1971. 13-hole, 5 wins and 78 starts last winter, 2016. 14-hole, 2 wins and 68 starts last winter, 1961. 15, that's bizarre. 15 in last winter, 2020. The 16, 4 wins and 52 last winter, 2011 only. This is where it starts to get thin. The 17 post has never produced a Kentucky Derby winner. So 45 times there's been a 17 post, 0 for 45. The 18, only 2 wins and 37 starts, albeit the last one in 2019. The 19, 1 win in 31 starts, last winter 2012. The 20 post, 2 wins in 19 starts, last winter 2022. Tommy, the history of the Kentucky Derby has not been kind to the 17 to 20 hole.
Yeah, I call the Kentucky Derby the demolition derby sometimes because 20 horses, the fields now in the Derby are so big, they bounce around. And yeah, it's just an added layer of problems for horses that are way outside to try to get into position, I think the inside is tough because you can get swallowed up with horses kind of moving in, getting in position. And then on the outside, you're doing it too. And you've got 20 horses with their own plans. So, it just adds another layer of another monkey wrench if you like those outside horses. And as history has shown, it's not been too kind, those post positions anyway.
How much stock do you put into post positions?
Not too much. I mean, it depends. In sprint races, it could play a role, I think, a little bit if the horse is, jumps out to the lead or, if you got a rail horse. In the Derby, though, I think there's so many factors that get involved in here. I'm not necessarily going to scratch a horse out. I mean, of course, I like Sovereignty. Would I prefer him to be in the 8, 9, 10 hole? Sure. He's 18, so we'll see.
Yeah, but you know what? Exactly. And I like Sovereignty as well, and Cam likes Sovereignty. He goes from 18 to 17, where no one's ever won before. So he's going to be wearing number 18, but he's really 17, Cam. See? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it stinks.
Everybody moves up one.
You're right. But there's something really important about this race. And remember, because 2 of these horses scratched.
Well, not everybody, but that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I don't care about history. I bet on the Rockies, so I'll take a horse that's never won in the history of the Derby. And yeah, that's what I do, Morency. But this is really important for everybody betting this race. The horse that got in, Baeza, he's 12 to 1, but he's a phenomenal horse, like way above average. And a lot of guys were talking. There usually is a scratch. He comes in. Gabe, he's got 4 starts, 1 win, 2 seconds. Okay? He's fantastic. Flavian Pratt is a very experienced jockey. This horse is dangerous. He's 12 to 1. I know he's on the outside, but he could be a factor in some exotics. I think that horse is really good.
All right, well, on the other side, we'll find out why Tommy likes Sovereignty in this race. Finished second in the Kentucky, in the Florida Derby, in the prep for the Kentucky Derby. And as I talked about, I always take the Florida Derby winner, but Tapestry had to tap out of the Kentucky Derby.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. Yeah. You did Dr. J Dames.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So as I was saying, everyone knows, been listening to the show for years, and we've been doing this 23 years now, is, we religiously bet the winner of the Kentucky Derby, the Florida Derby and the Kentucky Derby. Except this year, the winner of the Florida Derby is not in it. So I'm like, all right, do I go to the second choice here with Sovereignty? Very trendy horse, Sovereignty. But Journalism is a worthy favorite. Finished third in his first race. Hasn't lost since. And, I like the Florida Derby angle, but Santa Anita is to be respected. I like to see how many winners have come from the Santa Anita off the Santa Anita win. But let's jump in here right now. And a lot of different ways to bet this. I was looking at the book that I bet at the most today and the options that they had, and they didn't have head-to-head matchups, which was very frustrating. I might have to shop elsewhere for the head-to-head matchups, but they had a lot of other different, I guess they did have some weird type of positioning type of props and stuff like that. But let's jump in right now. And Tommy, who are you looking at here in the Kentucky Derby, and how do you play this? Do you play a horse to win? Do you like the head-to-head matchups? Do you swing for the fences and try to play like a pick four, trifecta? How are you going to play the Kentucky Derby, Tommy?
Yeah. Well, main focus for me is to the horse I like, which is Sovereignty, and then kind of dig for a long shot as well and kind of make a backup play or whatever you want to call it on that. Then get a few more horses. Journalism obviously is a horse to beat. He has to be respected. If you're playing exotics like trifecta, you got to throw him in the box there. So I'll throw 4 or 5 horses in a tri box. The thing with the Derby, you've had trifectas over the years pay $100, $150. You've had trifectas that pay $10,000. Mm-hmm. So, if lightning strikes and you get a long shot or two in that box, the payoff is very handsome. But for the Derby, for me, I'm on Sovereignty. I like East Avenue as a big long shot as well. And those 2 horses will be my win place bets and also in my exotic plays.
The East Avenue, what's interesting about East Avenue, guys, and we should bring up too, and I don't know, you know what I mean, about it is a sloppy track, and it's expected to be raining all weekend there. So, and anybody who saw the coverage from the Oaks today and stuff, you could see it was muddy out there. But the thing with East Avenue is it's a Kentucky horse. I'm not saying it was born in Kentucky, but raced 2 for 3 at the Bluegrass. it's been training here well in Kentucky as well. So you've got a little bit of familiarity here. Pretty nice number in the 20-1 range as well. The long shot I'm looking at here is the one horse, Citizen Bull, last year's champion 2-year-old. The projected odds for this race, guys, like in the pre, like 6 months ago or 4 months ago or whatnot, this horse is one of the favorites, actually. Fallen off a little bit because it finished fourth in the Santa Anita, but that was a pretty nice field. Let's not forget, guys, who finished third in that race, right? Journalism. So, I think Citizen Bull, Tommy's a pretty nice horse to be getting at this price, actually. Like, this horse can run with all these other horses.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, especially when you got that mud being kicked up in horses' faces and the jocks. Speed could be a factor in the Derby tomorrow, but that's what's so cool about this race is that you try to figure out the puzzle, but until the gates open, you really don't know how it's gonna go. You mentioned about Kentucky bred and familiarity with racing Kentucky. Going back to Sovereignty real quick, one thing I like about him, he's won over this track. One of the few horses it has. He's won at Churchill Downs, and he's beat a few of these horses at Churchill Downs. So that's something I like too. When you talk about, Gabe, the familiarity with the track or Kentucky bred and all that, that's an angle I like seeing when a horse has done well over the track.
All right, so here's just some history about as far as the horses as we talked about. So Citizen Bull finishing fourth at the Santa Anita behind Journalism. Neo Equos was in the Florida Derby, finished third place in the Florida Derby, just for the record. And you're getting in the 30-1 range, Cam, for Neo Equos. So third place in the Florida Derby.
So good that you mentioned that horse. They had a couple stories where guys said, these are the horses that win in the slop. And he was like, him and Final Gambit, the horse that I like, the 3, they broke their maiden. Like the horse broke the maiden in bad rainy conditions and finished great in all races with wet tracks, wet dirt. Like these horses are fine with that stuff. It's very important.
Well, Final Gambit, Cam, Gambit has never raced on dirt before. So I don't know if like a wet track is going to be better for it. But it's the first time on dirt for Final Gambit.
Yeah, he broke his maiden February 15 on the all-weather track. Rainy will be his first start on dirt. Yeah, sure, you are correct. But the one thing is about that horse, number 2, the horse you mentioned, and 3, they tend to, their style will fit. Like, they'll be fine on the slop. I think that horse will be fine.
A lot of people, Tommy, like Rodriguez, as, sort of an outside. American Promise, D. Wayne Lucas. This is the D. Wayne Lucas horse, and I kidded about this last night as American Promise won the Virginia Derby, and I was like, I didn't know there was a Virginia Derby. It's like Logan Gilbert.
He got scratched.
Right.
He's out.
Breaking news.
I didn't even know. I told you, that sounds like fake news. There's no friggin' Virginia stakes race.
I know.
Anyway,
that was the one.
Journalism's a Baffert horse. Was he not one of the 2 that got scratched? He's done. 2 horses.
No, that's the D. Wayne Lucas horse, American Promise.
No, I'm saying Rodriguez, that horse that you mentioned before.
Yeah, Rodriguez was the scratch. Rodriguez was the scratch. He was the one that moved everybody up. You got Luxor Cafe. Hopefully, he's better than the hotel casino is actually. Luxor 15-1.
That's Dubsy's horse. Oh,
that's not hard.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say this. This is for being around the Derby long enough. I sort of know. I've been around long enough to know things, guys. Don't bet on the Japanese horse. All right, it's not winning. Tommy, right or wrong? Saudi Arabian, Japanese. Oh, he's the UAE Emirate horse. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. They don't win, bro. They don't win.
It's never happened, and it takes a toll on him. The travel takes a toll on him. Luxor Cafe did look great in his horses in his races overseas, and he's 3 out of 4 winning on an off track as well. So that gives me a little bit of pause. I'm not going to pull the trigger. All that being said, he's getting hit right now in the current odds. He's down to 11-1, so he's getting played a little bit. I don't know if that's the mud angle or what, but he's getting some money.
So Journalism we talked about finished third. So yeah, Japanese horse never won, huh? And like I said, the Saudis, I'm not going to say they've never won, because I remember a couple of years ago there was it was Saudi owned, but it wasn't the horses that ran there. It's like Ireland. It's just, they just don't win. Like he's talking about the travel too. Like all 4 of Luxor Cafe starts were in Japan. So yeah, Journalism got a tough ride in Santa Anita, ended up finishing 3rd, but people do believe it's the best horse. Burnham Square, I don't know much about Burnham Square, finished 4th in the Fountain of Youth. I'm not really in love with this horse. Brian Hernandez Jr., Ian Wilkes is the trainer. Grande, John Velasquez, and Todd Pletcher. Any opinion on him, Tommy, on the 10 horse?
Yeah,
some people like him in the exotics, right, on the outside type of deal.
Yeah, I think that's a ceiling for him. I mean, the connections are right, but I just given what I've seen and pedigree wise, that's not a horse that I'm going to be including in any of my bets.
Man, I might bet on this horse, Cam, just because of the name. But he's never raced on dirt before either. Flying Mohawk. I like the name.
Flying Mohawk. Flying Mohawk is another horse that you mentioned there, Gabe. I know the conditions, but reading that article again.
It's a speed horse, Cam. It's going to take off. I don't think it'll be able to keep all these big boys off of Brunel forever.
He gets splashed up, but apparently they're not afraid of them, bud, with this horse. And just for betting for everyone, Gabe, and you brought up a really good point there, Tommy. The beautiful thing about today versus past is you can do like 10-cent supers. So you can throw some extra horses in there. It doesn't have to be $1, but if you hit $1 super, you're probably going to buy a new house if the favorites don't come in first and second. So that's what I want to do, Gabe. Get a couple extra in there. And super time, 10 cents.
I like the fact that we have journalism and there's a horse named Publisher.
Yeah,
hell is this? You got a newspaper too?
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Puwali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flauze Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J Dames.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Talking to Kentucky Derby right now. I'm Morency, the Friday Night Free Show, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. I always love this time of the year. May our boy Ted Teven rest in peace. Nobody loved the ponies like our boy Ted. And may Jack Sue rest in peace, of course, from Barney Miller. Doom, doo-doo-doom, 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 doo-doom. Jack Sue. So Barney Miller. And Tommy, I talk about this often, and I don't know if you're a fan of older TV shows, but I love like Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock, Barney Miller, Sanford and Son, but especially the 50s stuff, the 50s. I was going to say the 60s, but 50s, a lot in the 50s. It's amazing how many gambling references there are, and then into the 70s about there's a lot of Alfred Hitchcock betting episodes and gambling episodes and horse episodes. There was a great one where Buddy got a camera, and it took pictures 5 minutes in the future. Right. I don't know if you've seen that episode. It was great. And he's like, they're sitting there, and they don't know what to do with it, how to make money off it. And then Buddy figures out, like, let's go to the racetrack and take a picture of the board 5 minutes before. They did it. They got the picture. And they broke the camera after, and Buddy killed his buddy because they broke the camera. He's like, "You son of a bitch!" Like that was our camera. Like it was. There was another one where a guy went to Vegas and didn't like Vegas and didn't want to gamble, and he ended up getting addicted to slots. And the slot machine followed him to his hotel room, and he fell out of his window. Like the slot was like, play me. And yeah, he's like, no. And he falls out like, that's camera. No, he's falling out.
I got a problem with slots. For a tip, everybody, don't drink and play slots. You'll just keep on hitting buttons. Next thing you know, like you could be in orbit real quick. At least a horse race lasts 2 minutes. Slots, you can hit 70 times in 2 minutes. Like
no, that's why I wean myself off of horse racing. There's too many races in a day. Like it just never stops, and it's every 2 minutes. But I can't help but think. The best line ever was Jack Seuss on Barney Miller. Nick, his character was Nick, and he was a degenerate gambler as the cop. And Barney would always tell him, "Hey, I told you to stop betting at work." And he'd always calling his bookie from the cop line. And I remember once, and I told, we've talked about it before. It was a great episode. So he's looking at the newspaper, and he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "There's a horse named Bet." His name was Nick. He goes, "There's a horse named Bet Nick running at Belmont today." And Ron goes to him, "So you're going to bet it?" He goes, "No, it's not a sign. It's an order." Remember that?
It's an order.
It's not he goes, "Do you think that's a sign to bet on it, Nick?" He goes, "It's not a sign. It's an order." He calls it in. Bet Nick. There was the other one too, and they were like, "Hey, how's your weekend, Nick? I won the Ranger game. I put it on the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and I won $117." That was the best line. There's so many great lines. My favorite one too was when Ron Glass busted a hooker, and the hooker was flirting with him, and she goes, "It's much better to take than much better to give than receive." And Jack Sue walks by Cam. He goes, "You talking about the Appalachian State game?" When he goes, "Take and receive."
Remember, game goes,
"No, it's Alcorn State." He goes, "Are you talking about Alcorn versus Alcorn State game? Been better to take than receive?" Like just like you have to bet to write that. Like there's like the writers have to be betters to like slip these lines in, like, you know what I mean? These little point spread jokes and stuff like that.
Your line was the best, though. Remember, he goes, "I took the money I won on the Cotton Bowl, and then I took the Sugar Bowl, and then I chunked it on a hockey game."
Yeah, I chunked it all on a hockey game, and I won $117. Lunch on me.
Lunch on me. I love that guy. Yeah, he's wicked.
Yeah, I chunked it all on a hockey game.
Game.
That was great, great gambling references. You guys can look it up. Simpsons had one the other day, actually, about FanDuel and DraftKings, and they were mocking the new sports betting world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Tommy, trifectas, exactas, you're keeping it pretty simple. You're going with Sovereignty. Outside, you're saying Eastern Avenue, right? That's the other horse. That's your sort of East Avenue, the 12 horse.
Yeah. East Avenue, that's a long shot. I'm gonna throw in there. I like the speed in the Bluegrass. He actually lost the lead coming for home, then retook the lead, and then he got caught. But I just liked his toughness in the lane. He showed good speed, and in the Derby, if horses are improving and they show toughness in the lane, that's what I like. And that's why I like Sovereignty too. When he's coming down the lane, it's like he's running downhill. So East Avenue, Sovereignty will be in there. I'll will throw Baeza. Will be the other horse in the trifecta there. I'll probably put those four horses in there: Journalism, Sovereignty, Baeza, and East Avenue. Now, Citizen Bull and Burnham Square look good as well to throw in there. I'm going to a little get-together with some pals. I think I'm going to call them up and kind of organize little trifecta box that we can all chip in. And
Team
probably have
Super.
those 2 horses as well.
Where are you going to watch the
all
race? You guys going to get together? You going to go out somewhere to watch it, or you watching at home?
Buddy's house, Southern California. Well, he's got a nice little setup there, and we get together 2-3 times a year. And it worked out. We'll watch the Derby and have some food and drink, and watch the Canelo fight later in the evening.
Amazing.
Nice. So Tistastic, winner of 2 of his first 3 starts, lost 4 in a row, then won the Louisiana Derby. Publisher, for the record, finished in second in the Arkansas Derby. I like this horse, Publisher. You're getting a big number. People, it's a maiden horse, but you got Irad Ortiz on the mount here, which isn't a bad thing. Pretty big number for Publisher. Rendered judgments in the 30-1 range. Was 5th in the Bluegrass and 2nd in the Virginia Derby. Coal Battle won 4 straight stakes before being stretched a mile in the 8th. 7 lengths behind in the Arkansas Derby. This seems like an uphill battle for Coal Battle. Sandman seems to be somewhat of a trendy horse. We talked about Sovereignty, and then at the back, Chunk of Gold, and Owen Almighty. Tommy Lorenzo, good stuff, Tommy. Fun stuff talking to Derby with you.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on. Great to talk to you as always, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. There's where can people find you online, Tommy?
Sportsbook Tom on Twitter. Cover the Weekend podcast every Thursday, Friday, thereabouts. Cover the weekend.
Great stuff, Tommy Lorenzo. All right, second half rolling right now. 74-70 Rocket.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Pawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flauze Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. Yeah. You did Dr. J. Dames.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We had a major upset tonight in Times Square. A rat defeated a rat defeated a man in a fight. But honestly, they shut down Times Square tonight, which costs a lot of money to do, just for the record, right? So it's a big flex move. Like, you know how much money you got to pay to shut down Times Square? So they put this boxing match, boxing card in Times Square. So it seemed really cool. Like you saw the pictures of it. It was like, wow, that's really cool. You got the ring right there, and people are taking pictures from rooftops and their hotels and all that type of stuff. But they put up these like walls around it. Like they put it in Times Square, which nobody in Times Square could see it. And there was like very limited people that were actually at the fights. So there was no atmosphere. Like, it was bizarre world. They were like, I don't know how it's stone cold silent and they're in Times Square, but they were. And people couldn't see it because they put these big walls up around the ring, which seems just kind of stupid and pointless. I mean, if you're going to do it in Times Square, let people see it. But nevertheless, Ryan Garcia was the main event tonight against Rolly Romero. And I should have jumped in. You know what I did? I said I should have jumped in. I freaking did jump in. I'm either like a degenerate, I'm either tired, or I'm just a stoner. I'm like Sean Penn on Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I'm all of the above, and now an addicted
I'm like,
player.
Because I didn't take. So Ryan Garcia lost. He's an 11-1 favorite tonight. But I didn't have the balls to bet against him. But I was like, you know what? I like the over of this. And I didn't get in on the over at first because I was like, I don't know, dude. Like every time I take the over, it always gets, dude, the boxing's so rigged. The over's always 6.5, and they always get knocked out right. It's right, in the 6.5 mark. They always time it perfectly. But as I saw earlier in the fight, I was like, you know what? This thing's going to be a real fight. Garcia's not going to kill him. So I took over 10.5 rounds at -125 and over 9.5 rounds at -175. I actually did win $75 a bet. So $150. I won on that. But Garcia loses as an 11-1 favorite tonight. He got knocked down in like the third round, and he was still a -450 favorite even after the knockdown. We got a 12-6 football game. Oh boy, there's only 2 minutes left in this game, and Arlington have the football right now. I'm on the Battlehawks on the money line -120, and this game to go over. It's not going to go over the number this game, so hopefully the Battlehawks can win and I can get the split. I also got screwed because I had the Jets in 6. I didn't hedge it. Hellebuck blows on the road. The guy's terrible. They would have the same chance on the road, Cam, if they started me than Hellebuck. Nothing would be any difference. They would whatever. Like I said off the top of the show, might be 8-1 instead of 5-1 if I was playing.
I'm going to tell you something, Morency, and sometimes it takes bold moves to do stuff, but you're never going to do it with Connor Hellebuck. But Comrie, you play this game has proven Hellebuck. Thank God the Jets have home ice advantage because he's a train wreck. After tonight's game, his save percentage, Gabe, will be hovering, I'm thinking, around 790 something. Like it might dip around the 8 mark. That's disgusting. And this guy is supposed to be one of the best goalies in the league. It's just totally different on the road. I know this sounds nuts. I actually think they could have started Comrie. The Bruins pulled Ullmark for Swayman. I get it. Swayman's a lot better, but they went on that heater and went all the way down. Like Hellebuck, he plays a lot of hockey. Let's remember that. The Jets, they overwork guys. We talk about this with Ottinger, don't you think? But Gabe, if they did that, they'd be crucified. But he gave them a better chance on the road, in my opinion.
They won't do it, but I don't disagree with you. I think they would have nothing to lose in doing it. Put it that way. They're losing the games on the road anyways. But he's their best player. He's one of their best players, and they need him to get it together on the road. Unless they win every home game, which is going to be pretty hard to do. That's what they have to do. They need to win, but they could do it. I mean, I'm saying mathematically they could lose every road game they play in and win every home game they play in and win the Stanley Cup. But eventually it's going to catch up to them. Not having Scheifele, I'm not going to say that really mattered tonight because I think they still would have found a way to lose the game. So now they're going 7. The NHL gets a couple of 7-game series. We got game 7 tomorrow with the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars +115 on their home ice. So they're actually underdogs on home ice, which I'm going to take the Stars in this game. We'll hit this some more on the other side. Colorado Avalanche are -135 road favorites. 5-2 St. Louis Blues. This game's just coming to an end right now. Back to Winnipeg they go. It's the only time anyone's ever been happy to go to Winnipeg. The Blues right now.
Asimov was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing for my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Good news, bad news. Good news is we win the St. Louis Battlehawks bet. UFL football on Fox. They're taking a knee right now. Max Duggan, now the quarterback of the Battlehawks. They did enough to get it done tonight. It wasn't a pretty football game. Bad news is we lose the over. Total was pretty high at 42 for UFL standards. It doesn't come close at all. 12-6 final score. I swear these teams never, ever convert their two-point conversions. Like, that's why it's 12-6. 3 touchdowns, 12-6. So we'll give you our thoughts on the weekend UFL action a little bit later on. So Battlehawks are going to win this game. Let's go back to the NBA right now. The NHL game is a disaster and done for the Winnipeg Jets. Kiev O'Neill steps up and joins us on the Friday Night Freak Show. Kiev, always a pleasure, my man. How you doing tonight?
I'm excellent, guys. Thanks for having me Friday night. Lots going on this weekend, my friends.
Yeah, you know what? Always the first Saturday in May, you got boxing matches, Kentucky Derby, you got a fight night, NHL Game 7. We got NBA basketball Game 7. I'm going to an MLS game tomorrow. I'm seeing the legendary Real Salt Lake in real life. I've always wanted to see Real Salt Lake in person. I don't have enough to go to Madrid, so I'm taking in Real Salt Lake instead.
Yeah, amazing.
But all kidding aside, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So we were talking. I know you know Tommy. Everybody knows each other. We were talking Kentucky Derby earlier with Tommy Lorenzo. What do you do, Kiev, with the Kentucky Derby? Do you like betting on the horses this time of the year?
Absolutely. You know, I've always, I'd say at least the last 10 years, I've bet the Triple Crown races, some Breeders' Cups, Saratogas. You know, and it's, unfortunately, I don't have the time that I used to. You know, during COVID, obviously, that was all horse racing for me. Every single Saturday, I'd get out of the pool, check my computer, put a couple down, jump back in the pool, have some fun. You know, that was definitely, I was definitely a lot more options for that because there was just not a lot of other sports. But, you know, definitely always handicapping the bigger races. And it's not like I'm a every track, every weekend kind of guy. But I definitely am a pretty good purveyor of information. So I definitely got some thoughts.
You know what's interesting, though, about this is, like, Cam bets, I used to be a DJ and like hang at the OTB daily and stuff, like in the 90s. Like, I lived there. and Cam, bets the overnight Australian races and stuff, the Asian races, but it really has nothing to do with these races. You know what I mean? Like, because these are like the premier horses, and it's different, Cam. You know what I mean? And if you're a Northfield Park expert than a Kentucky Derby, like some guy at Northfield, there's no edge on a Kentucky Derby.
They're not
these are all the showcase horses. Exactly. Like it's all different, different worlds, right? Like so I'm just stating that being a hardcore horse racing degenerate during the year doesn't help you with the Kentucky Derby. That's my whole point.
You're absolutely right, Gabe. No, I play. I like to play the A tracks. Like I play Santa Anita. Gulfstream.
That will help you. The A-track players does because these horses they only run the A-tracks.
I bet Australian racing because I don't want to go to bed and I'm bored. That's basically what I do, and I'm learning about it now. But the problem is, Morency, I bet a horse last night. He went from 26-1 to 3-1 before the race. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with their pools, but that would never happen at a track. A horse can move like 1 or 2. These guys are moving horses like 20, 25 points. It's a racket. I just do it for kicks. It's a joke. Yeah.
You know what's interesting here with Bet365, they have fixed odds if you want. So you can play the market, or you can play fixed odds. So they have numbers up, just they're set, they're locked in stone for you if you want. So Citizen Bull is 12-1 to win, plus 350 to place, 225 to show. Neo Equos is 50-1 to win right now, 16 to place, 10-1 to show. Final Gambit 18, 550 and 333. American Promise 18 plus 550 plus 333. Admire Daytona. I think we skipped over that horse earlier, 33-1 right now. What are you looking at, Kiev? What do you think about the Derby? Who do you like?
I want to beat the favorite. I think that this Derby is loaded with like 10 to 12 horses that are all really good, and there's nothing that really sticks out to me. No American Pharaohs, no Justifies, things like that. And when that happens, it makes me want to kind of stay away from the 3-1s a little bit. Now, I'm going to try to not let journalism beat me. So I'll probably use them in an exacta with, a Sovereignty, a larger exacta for something like that. But I'm going to keep my tries around some horses that I think, have the pedigree to win a race like this. I landed on Sovereignty as my favorite because, he's won a lot. When you saw him run at the Florida Derby, I feel like he was held back a little bit in that race. I feel like he actually could have took first if the jockey pushed him. They had the points to make the Derby, in my opinion, and he had to come back from farther than Tappan Street did, and Tappan Street couldn't make the Derby, as you know. The Sovereignty won his races before that. A Bill Mott horse, Alvarado's the jockey. He's the favorite that I'm kind of on, but he's in third, at least behind Sandman. I'm not buying Sandman. Sandman, in his last race when he won in the Arkansas Derby, he had a perfect trip, and he really blocked Publisher. Publisher was coming, and he goes sideways, and then Publisher had to slow down. It wasn't quite enough to be an infraction, but, that was such a perfect trip, and he's just been so inconsistent. So that's one of the favorites that I'm not even putting in my exactas, So if Sandman lands in the place, if he places, I'm in trouble. But I'm kind of going for American Promise because of the breeding. He had a really nice number, and unfortunately, when I landed him on a Monday or Tuesday, I feel like a lot of other people did, bringing him all the way to 12-1. But this is a Justified horse. Sire is the Justified. Tap at the Dam. He's kind of coming into his 3-year-old, getting rid of his fat, and had a really great race at the Virginia Derby, and he looks the part to make that next step up. And D-Wayne Lucas has won Kentucky Derbies in the past. Baeza is the other one, because if you like journalism, why would you not like a priced horse like Baeza? I mean, they're literally neck and neck in the Santa Anita, and it's like, well, yeah, sure, he lost by a little bit to journalism, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again. It doesn't mean he can't take the little step forward and journalism take a little step back. And with the scratches happening, obviously with Rodriguez and Grande, that opened up the opportunity for him to jump in. And when you have a jockey like Flavian Pratt leaving Neoquist and moving to this horse, it's telling.
Great call.
And if you remember, there was another horse that won the Derby that came in because of a scratch at 80-1 just a few
Was that
years
Rich Strike?
ago. Yes, that was Rich Strike. He moved in and won the thing, and that was the second highest odds in Derby history. The highest odds was back in like 1916 or something like that. It was the horse's name was Upset, and that's where they came up with Upset, from what I'm hearing.
One thing that you said too, in the past, listen, the favorite's never been really the thing to do, betting on the Derby, but in the past there is a horse to beat, and journalism is the favorite here, guys, but it's going to be one of these hindsight's right or wrong after, where if he gets blown up, he doesn't win, it's going to be like, wow, I can't believe that a horse that actually finished third in the San Diego Derby was favored in the Kentucky Derby. And if he wins, people are going to say, wow, I told you, he was supposed to be the favorite. We'll hit this some more on the other side.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. One thing I'll say about the Kentucky Derby, at least from my own instances, is that, it is, they call it the quickest, most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And it is exhilarating. And oftentimes, many years leading into it, Kiev, I'll tell myself, listen, just bet on a couple of horses. Don't go crazy. Don't start overthinking it. And, bro, like clockwork, every year, you start watching the broadcast and you see this horse and that horse. It's like, I better get a piece of this horse, and I better get a piece of that horse, and you know what, I think I better play this, and like, I remember last year I even tweeted, I said I'm not betting more than $100 on the race. Then 2 hours later, I was like, all right, I'm up to $850, guys. I'm just like a loser. I'm like,
can I get another dime?
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
I got another 50, and in horse racing too, and I know it, but like with this, you start to get into this stuff, Cam. It's like triple your bet and stuff. I'm like, I want to box this. I'm like, oh God, it's $120 to box it. And I'm like, next thing you know, like you're in real money, Kiev. The money, and it's a 2-minute race, and anything can happen. So I'm just stating, think about what you're doing, guys, when you start clicking right before the race. You know what I'm saying, Kiev? I'm sure you've been there before.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll have like these boxes set up, and you're like, dude, I just bet the same combination 4 fucking times. What is going on?
You know what it is, though? I was telling Gabe, those 10-cent supers are good because all these guys used to be like 50-cent minimum, and then you could have more fun with it that way. And
I don't have a problem with that, Cam. If you actually just do and just put together a bunch of dollar trifectas and have fun with it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But
exactly
what I do is like, I really like this horse. I said I got like $250 on one horse, and like then he finishes 11th, and I'm like, oh God, that was a quick 250 loss.
Sovereignty and fixed odds at 6-1. My offshore like 6 times. I'm like, what are you doing? Just bet him once. Like
he's no lock to win the race, Cam. That horse.
I just get excited, Gabe. Like I get like that makes me
That's
happy.
what I'm saying. I gotta warn people: don't get too excited. Don't drop F bombs.
I would say just
but I appreciate it.
Don't you watch for anything beforehand because you're going to get all these. These horse looks great this morning. Oh, this horse threw up. This horse,
yeah.
You're going to get all that, and you're going to start, freaking out and
changing
your bet.
Like the horse is going to run
Eddie
better after
Olczyk comes in.
a dump. He goes, I go, really? When I take a dump, don't you feel more relaxed? Do you want to be moving fast? Like they have come up with these ideas. Well, he's less weight now. He's going to run. I don't know. I think you might get a little more relaxed. Like there's no rhyme or reason.
It's like,
tell me,
Kiev. It's like UFC countdown shows, right? They affect everybody, right? And I don't watch them, but you'll watch these countdown shows, and you get this story, and then you see the guy training, the dramatic music, and you're like, oh, this guy's gonna win. And then you see the other guy. I'll never forget Phil Baroni. Ironically enough, they're both in jail, Phil Baroni and Cain Velasquez. But Cain Velasquez was fighting Brock Lesnar. Cain does not deserve to be in jail, but that's another story. And it was at AKA, and I knew Baroni. Me and Joey Odessa were buddies with all of them and stuff. And so Baroni was training there, and he said, "There's no way in hell that Cain loses to Brock Lesnar." He goes, I see this guy in the gym every day. He's ragdolling Cormier. He's a beast. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar. He watched the UFC countdown show, and he called Joey. He goes, man, I'm watching this countdown show. Brock Lesnar looks pretty scary, doesn't he? And he's a fighter in the UFC. He's a fighter, Cam, and he got suckered in by the whole countdown stuff. He was like, I don't know, man. I was watching the countdown show. Like, you know what I mean, Kiev? Like, it can mess with your head, that stuff. You got to tune out the outside noise.
You do. I mean, of course, in the countdown, they're going to show them the very best moments possible. You know what I mean? And usually it's just a tomato can they're kicking around. It's like nobody important. That's important. You got to decipher that. But, if you're really on what you're betting, especially in the UFC, you've literally seen these fighters fight. I mean, that's the goal, right? You know what these guys do. Otherwise, if you're betting and you never watch UFC, that's something else. I scratch my head about that. There's some sports you can go pure stats wise, but man, I'll tell you that not this one.
Just for the record, here's an exact, not box. So journalism to win the race and sovereignty to finish second is 13-1. Fixed odds right now. That's at Bet365. Journalism 1, sovereignty 2, 13.43. Plus 13.43 odds. All right, so UFC Fight Night. Before we get you out of here, Kiev, it's always a pleasure. The odds breakers in the house. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna fake it and say, I've taken a look at this card. I haven't. So we'll rely on you here. But I do know these fighters. I know Ponzi, of course. Ponzibio is still around. Daniel Rodriguez. We got Montel Jackson and Marcos. What are you looking at? What do you like on this? What should we be betting on? A Jeremy Stevens return and retirement fight as well, right? Big underdog, plus 400.
You know, it's crazy to see Jeremy Stevens back in the UFC. He was doing bare knuckle boxing for a while, and he's been terrible at the end of his career. But I guess he's done pretty well on the bare knuckle side. But it's funny. He's from Des Moines, right? So that's the big reason that he's back on this card. He's the hometown kid here, so he's going to get a big crowd. But he's also against a pretty good fighter in Mason Jones that's minus 725. So it's like you should have put like some sort of tomato can against him.
They made him a tomato can.
Yeah. Now he is. In my opinion, and dude, I've been fading Jeremy Stevens until last 4 or 5 fights before he came out. He was one of my money makers, just by fading him, and he can't do anything on the ground. He's definitely well past his prime at 38 years old, but this Mason Jones kid's kind of hungry. He's kind of moving up, and if I was going to look at anything in this fight, I mean, these are massive odds. You can't even use this as a parlay. It'd be Mason Jones inside the distance. I haven't bet this fight. I'm not sure if I because
we only have 30. We only have 30 seconds. Any opinion on the main event?
Yeah, the price is wrong. Davidson's you got to take the dog at plus 390. Even though I think Sanhagen's going to win, I just think that Davidson's got a 33% chance of winning, which says it should be 200. It's plus 390. It's a situation where he's too good. Yeah, right.
Kiev O'Neill. Great stuff, Kiev.
Was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J. Dames.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. The Friday Night Freak Show continues. Quickest 120 minutes in sports talk and television. A lot of Derby talk tonight so far on the program. We check into the Bay Area. Steph Curry just missed a 3 right now, and they need it. Houston Rockets are getting it done on the road. In fact, the Rockets are now up 101-89 with 6.5 minutes left in this basketball game. In-game total is currently 220 and a half. Rockets are laying 6.5 right now, looking to send this back to H-Town for a Game 7. And they clearly have taken control of this series. Like, they look like the better team right now. They've got Golden State rattled. They're kind of bullying them a bit in the paint. And Golden State, quite frankly, just don't have enough offensive firepower right now to keep up. And, they're having a hard time scoring. They're stuck at 89 right now. Give credit to Houston for putting 101 up on the board. I did not see this coming tonight. We'll see if Tony Finn expected this. Tony, are you surprised the Houston Rockets are beating the Golden State Warriors tonight? A lot of sharp people like the Rockets tonight, so I guess I'm just an idiot.
Well, no, I really kind of strayed away from this series, but it doesn't surprise me a bit. I just don't think Golden State is physical enough. I mean, Draymond Green is obviously going to try to be, but his and I don't call him shenanigans, but his DNA and his
shenanigans
style of play,
is a good term. That's fair.
And his style of play.
His crap.
Yeah.
We'd say a lot of stuff, but you're right, though. Listen, he's trying out there. He's battling, but he's older.
Yeah.
And Dylan Brooks is a younger version than he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This coach, had a pretty. I thought that Celtics team that he had, the best Celtics team saved last year, is obviously the one championship. We're a physical brand of basketball. He likes to play that way. He's got the players for it, and it's confusing and confounding. Kerr and the Warriors right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't have an answer for it. They don't. We'll see, and basically they need Curry to hit a couple of shots here, but you can only ask him to do that so many times, and they've dug themselves quite a hole right now, 101 to 89. And at this rate, I don't know, though. I've been wrong in this series a lot, actually. Some of them I've been right in, but I've been wrong with this one. I've sort of been zigzagging when I should be zagging and zigging. I am on the overs here in this game, so I can still get out of this game with a profit. But it is frustrating me because I played a San Francisco two-step. I played the Golden State Warriors moneyline parlay with the San Francisco Giants, and the Giants are winning 4-0 right now. 1-1 with the Tigers and Angels. Dodgers win 2-1 tonight. Yamamoto, another spectacular performance. They were minus 180 favorites at first pitch, so it's a little bit pricey tonight, Tony.
Yeah. Your baseball picks, I like your baseball picks. I really liked Scooble, as most people did on the road, but I played him a little different. I played him as to record a win, to get the win, plus a little bit of money, a little bit of sprinkling on the -1.5. And you just mentioned what it was. It's Detroit hasn't scored against an LA pitcher. I mean, they should have scored, in my opinion, a couple times, 1-1 right so far. So, top of the 8th inning, I'm not going to probably win either one, but I'm still alive, chipping a chair, right?
Man, earlier we had two 10-0 games going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wow, I don't know if there's ever been a night where two teams lost 10-0, but it's not that way anymore. It ended up getting blown open. The Seattle Mariners, guys, and I brought this up about 2 weeks ago. It was the weekend before they played Toronto, right? They had a good weekend, and that was basically the end of the Blue Jays season. That was Seattle Mariner weekend. So the Mariners went into Toronto, but that, you know what it was? It was against Seattle. It was against Cincinnati, because I remember I was betting the totals. It was Seattle and Cincinnati, and the Seattle couldn't hit. It was like, God, this team is pathetic. It's the same stuff as always. They can't hit. Then they went into Cincinnati, they hit. Then they went into Toronto, they hit. And it's just continued right now. They put 13 up on the board tonight, guys, against Texas. 13-1 win. They're racking up the wins right now. Don't look now, guys, but the Mariners are in first place. Tony, you bet baseball on a daily basis. The Mariners are a hot team right now, and they're a scary team if they're going to score runs. They had 17 hits tonight.
Yeah, they do. And they're hitting the ball much better this year. Obviously, we're only 1 month into this campaign, but I've been fading Houston. I faded them in futures. I faded them on a nightly basis. I like Texas or Seattle to win this division. So, and I like them both of them to finish ahead of Houston.
I think Texas are overrated as well. I thought they might be good coming into the year, but I'm not down with the Rangers.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing for my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Tony Finn says he's fading the Astros. I saw someone do a video online today, and they were asking people outside of a stadium which baseball player would be the best jockey for the Kentucky Derby, and everybody said Altuve, which he's who comes to mind. He's who comes to mind as well. Like, I don't know, like you're not putting Alexander Kirk, the catcher of the Blue Jays, as a jockey.
The horse
would like.
Can't beat the horse. Get up, pal. He's done.
Like I don't know, everyone thinks I don't know Altuve. I swear I don't know why they thought putting Altuve at left field would be a good idea. They're like, oh, he can field. It's like balls are going over his head.
God.
Like it's not a good idea. This is what's wild. So the Toronto Blue Jays did win tonight. Blue Jays are a 500 team. That's what they are. They should be better than a 500 team. They have like the fourth highest payroll in baseball. They should be like better than they are, but they're not. But they're not a train wreck. But they're a 500 team. Yeah, the thing is, they're a 500 team. Their pitching's been awesome. I know you're surprised about that, Tony. I'm not. I went on record as saying I thought they had a top 5 staff coming into the year. On paper, they do. And they're living up to it for the most part. But the Blue Jays' problem every year is like 1 year they hit, they don't pitch. Then they pitch and they don't hit. They never get on the same page together. Yet this year they're sort of battling. They're winning games without hitting home runs, which is next to impossible in the modern era. Yeah. You know, Tony, they have the biggest home run differential in baseball. Minus 22 coming into tonight, like with other teams. How about this, too? This is like mind-blowing. I didn't realize this. We got to bet on him tomorrow. Bo Bichette has not hit a home run in 62 games now.
Yeah.
He's due.
62 games. Longest current home run drought. Garrett Thompson, 123. Wow, Tim Anderson. Man, he hasn't hit a home run in 122 games. Tyler Wade, 119. You got a bunch of stiffs here. Then you got Bo Bichette. Like 62 games, he hasn't hit a home run.
It's shocking. It's surprising. Like you said, in this day and age of baseball, it's
think of the short fence that they have in Toronto, too.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous with that lineup. It just doesn't make any sense, Gabe. They should be at the top of the league in home runs. It's
and
nuts.
they're 16-16. And they're 16-16. With that differential.
Bichette wants money, too. So this is like, that's what I'm saying with the Jays. They, same with Guerrero, although I think Guerrero's about to start going deep a lot more. He better because I got his home run prop. But Listen, we bet the Blue Jays to go over 78.5. They're a 500 team right now. They're on pace to win 81 games. It is what it is. All right, Tony, we'll got a couple of more minutes with you here. So 104.89 right now. The Houston Rockets are in control. Looks like this is going 7. Tomorrow we have the LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Saturday night, Denver Nuggets -1 point home favorites, total 205.5. What's your opinion, Tony, on Game 7 in LA and Denver?
Clippers over the 205. I've been a Clippers. You and I have both kind of been, pimping these Clippers.
And now we're going to a Game 7. We're getting clipped in the Clippers.
No, you're not going to get clipped. You're going to go to great clips and get a nice cut, nice and smooth, Tony. Everything's going to be fine. Clippers, baby, Clippers.
I already bet the Clippers to win the series, so I don't even need to bet this game. I already have them to win the series. I hope you're right, Tony. I do agree with the over 205.5.
The problem with this is that now the Clippers, they'll win tomorrow. They're going to beat Denver. They're going to go into round 2 of the playoffs, and they're going to be gassed having to play who else? The best team in basketball. So tall task now. I really wanted them to go in, maybe a winner in 5, maybe a winner in 6, and maybe it'll match up a little bit better with this OKC team. But it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to win a game, just let alone. They don't have the best history in these spots. They could win. But Denver get no respect. Denver get no respect. I mean, the game is a pick 'em basically on their home court. The Pacers are getting 8 points on Sunday against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think some people will look at this and think, well, the Pacers won't be able to play with the Cavs, and there's no doubt that the Pacers are a viciously good team. They're a dangerous team. They can score. They're big. They're physical. They rebound. They play. They can play defense when they want to. Even though they play in higher scoring games, they can get stops when they want to. But with that being stated, the Pacers beat them 126-118 this year. The Pacers beat them 114-112 this year. The Pacers beat them 108-93 this year. The Pacers beat them 3 to 4 times that they played. When you get these teams that are in the same division, they know each other. They play each other all the time. And the Pacers are not intimidated by the Cavaliers.
No, the games that they played this year, they really they did a really good job in the paint, defending the two bigs for Cleveland. The two things the Pacers do, they're much different than last year's team. They don't shoot the 3 near as often as they did last year, and they defend the 3 passionately. So
they don't shoot the 3 well. Cleveland, that's why. They don't have anyone that can shoot it well.
Yeah, right.
Like Halliburton, whatever. Halliburton is moonshots. Like it's either hit or miss. Like one game, it's like 0 for 12. The other game, he hits. Siakam is my guy, but he's not a very good 3-point shooter. Like they're not a good 3-point shooting team, really.
No, the team that wins the paint.
Miles Turner is all right, actually. Sorry, I was just Miles Turner. Yeah, he shoots the 3.
I agree.
He should. It's funny. They're big man.
Yeah,
they're big man's their best 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
But I like Cleveland. Listen, I really like Cleveland. I think they're deeper, much deeper than Indy personally. And again, if Cleveland wins the paint, they win this series, and I think they win the series going away.
So you think they'll cover the 8 in the first game?
Well, 8's, here's the difference. I'm certainly not going to take the 8. If I'm on this game, I'm going to be laying the 8, but it's probably more of a 2-team parlay for me tomorrow night. I like Clippers and I like Cleveland.
I think I'm going to take the Pacers, Cam, plus the 8. I'm going to be bold. Give me the underdog plus the 8 points in game 1.
You know me, Gabe. I'm deputy dog, and Kurtz is Captain Chalk. When I see plus 8 points, I'm almost like somebody giving me a free lunch. So I think the Pacers can play with them. But I'm with Tony. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I'd say the Pacers could probably get 2 wins in this series. Cleveland in 6.
What do you think, Tony, of the Knicks and the Boston Celtics? The Knicks, listen, on paper, it looks like the Knicks can play with anybody. Problem is, they haven't been good against good teams this year, right? So they just struggled with the Detroit Pistons. They got by that, but, their record against Cleveland, Oklahoma City, Boston, what were they, like 1-9 or something against, like, elite teams in the NBA this year? Can they beat the Celtics 4 out of 7 times? I don't think they can.
Well, Boston has to shoot awful bad from the perimeter for that to happen. It could happen. I mean, Tatum could get hurt again. Maybe he, gets one of their frontliners gets damaged some. But outside of that, no, I agree with you. The Knicks. Remember, we talked a little bit about the Knicks in Detroit. I thought the Knicks had some scores. Detroit relied on Cunningham. In this situation, the Knicks have to score. Everyone has to score, and they have to defend the perimeter. And there's a reason. There's absolutely a good reason why Boston's an 8.5-point favorite in the Garden. Because they're better.
Tony, before we get you out of here, we got about a minute and a half or so. You said you're going to ride the Toronto Blue. The Blue Jays are a streaky team. Blue Jays will lose 5 of 7, then they'll win 5 of 7, and they'll end up right back where they started, right at 5. Yep. Mark it down. They're 16-16 now. A week from now or 2 weeks, we'll check in. We'll be like, oh look, they're 27-27. But they are streaky. Do you like them again tomorrow, Tony?
I do. I like them. I like them to get to Williams, and this could be the game. You guys mentioned maybe this is the game Bichette goes deep. This game,
Gossman's on the hill here. Only minus 140 too. It's not a crazy number.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I like Toronto here, and on top of that, I like a shot in the Derby. I know you guys were talking about the Derby, but
what do you got?
But I have Grande, morning line 20-1, kind of like the 2023 winner. In May, we're in lightly raced kid with
he's gone.
What's that?
Grande's scratched. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, the one horse you picked.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
I like one horse Grande.
The horse already lost, Tony.
Yeah. Pick another.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull up injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. Yeah. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, it's a pretty embarrassing ending for the Golden State Warriors tonight. It's 110-97 right now for the Houston Rockets. 2.5 left. We're into garbage time, and there's no real need for them to foul, right? So what's the total out here? We're at 207 right now. The total was, 208 in this game. So we're going to get that. We're right there. So we're going to hit that total. But what did I bet in game here? Oh, dear God. I got it over 223.5. It's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. It is what it is. I got to deal with it. For the record, for the real hardcore degenerates, if you're looking a bit on some hockey right now, the Colorado Eagles are beating the San Jose Barracuda 4-1 right now.
Good.
American Hockey League action. Detroit Tigers have taken a 3-1 lead on the LA Angels. And San Francisco Giants still up 4-0 right now on the Colorado Rockies. All right, we got Tony for a couple more minutes. We'll get him out of here. So, the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow. Gossman on the hill against Williams. You like the Blue Jays, you were saying, Tony. We got a big pitchers duel tomorrow. I see a total of 8.5. Sasaki and Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach's a great young pitcher, and you got Sasaki who's starting to get into his own, Tony. That 8.5 looks a little bit high to me. I'm going to bet the under in this game.
Yeah, Atlanta's playing a little bit of baseball, better baseball, should I say. And the fact is that LA's only, over in Atlanta team has been very pedestrian. A kid that's a young pitcher with Sasaki on the mound, essentially pick him, right? Coin flip, minus 115 maybe for the Dodgers. At least that's what I saw before I came on the show. So I would probably be on Dodgers and liking the price in this game, Cam.
Sasaki is starting to, it's a learning process for.
Yeah.
He gave up 3 earned runs against the Pirates. He gave up 2 earned runs in the second start before that against the Rangers, 1 against the Cubs, 1 against the Phillies, 2 against Detroit, 1 against Chicago. So, he's starting, it's a learning curve. He's a young kid, but he's getting better. Like each start here, like he's, you can just sort of see the stuff and the confidence growing for him. Tony Finn. So, Tony, good to have you back from Kansas City and the Ozarks. I see there's a new show.
Yeah.
Ozark Cops type thing. They'll walk around. There's drunk people in the Ozarks partying.
Busting them for moonshine, meth, all sorts of stuff.
Arrest them for eating.
It's like a. It's not the Ozarks. It's not like it's like a. It's like a party lake. It's like cottage country and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's no moonshine and stuff.
Party Cove.
It's in Missouri, though, right? It's like Ozark, Missouri. There's like a lake and a town and everything.
It's central southern. It's down hanging out by Silverado City, and we're all it's kind of the second Nashville down there in the south. South.
I think Julio's probably been there too. They like to smoke weed up there too. I see the cops are telling people, hey, don't smoke weed on the strip. Tony Finn.
It's the top crop. It's the top crop in Missouri or in Arkansas, marijuana.
All right, Tony. WagerTalk.com. Good to see you, Tony.
Love you, Tony.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Tony, see it. All right, see it, Tony. Just it's like I was gonna say, he's like a guy on the phone. He won't say bye. It's like, all right, I was gonna say, man, he's hard to get off the air. It's like, all right, Tony, you're done. Go. And he's like on the way out. Toronto Blue Jays. Like, go. God.
Morency, it's
the patience for this.
Fun. No, everything's cool, buddy. It's Friday. We're gonna have a nice glass of wine.
Go from Tony Finn to a man that struggles to use a computer. Big card Julio in the house.
You're coming in hot with the guests. Yes.
Hello.
What's up, Julio?
Can you hear
Hi,
me?
Julio. Yeah, we got you.
Hey, what's happening, gentlemen? Always appreciate you guys. I've been to the Ozarks. I love the Ozarks, and I'm actually thinking about seeing my favorite band in the Ozarks on my birthday. So,
I got to be honest. I didn't know anything about the place, Julio, but I saw that cop show. There's like a reality show about the local police department there and what they deal with, and they're super cool. Like it seems to be really hard to get arrested in that town. And there's like people from Wisconsin, all over the Midwest. And I don't know, there's just like it's really trashy. It's just like very white, trashy, wasted people, like making out, like puking. It's like a spring break type of place. But they got like a bunch of lakes. So there's like drunk boaters and there's cops everywhere. But weed is legal there too. So they can't pop people for that now. They just ask people, don't smoke in front of people if you can and move to the side. So, yeah, I was thinking I never imagined I was going to ever go to Missouri. But I was like, yeah, if I was in the area, I'd go and get drunk there for a night. So you've been there before, Julio?
I have actually during COVID. The Ozarks was one of the only places left open in the nation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So my wife and I took a trip down.
They left it open. They didn't care, right? They're like, yeah, we're there.
Yeah, come on, everybody. We don't care. Yeah.
That's not surprising. All right, so we're going to be quick here, Julio. So what do you got for us? What's the big card Julio say? What do you got?
Hey, we've got the Colorado special tomorrow with Game 7, Nuggets and the Clippers. I'll take the Nuggets on the money line, -120. Avalanche, I'll take them on the money line. I see -118 on the screen, so even better price. So shop around. I like the Avalanche, -135. Considering the way this series has gone, Avs and Stars, maybe the puck line might be the play. I wouldn't be surprised if the winning team, either Dallas or Colorado, win by over 2 goals. We'll go English soccer. I like Ipswich against Everton under a goal and a half, even money for Ipswich. So we need Ipswich to not score a goal. Atletico Madrid +110, and Barcelona clean sheet +110 as well. And yeah, it's been a surprisingly a quick playoff first round in the NBA. Usually those series drag on, so it's nice to see some series go into the second round. I'm starting to look at some prices for our second round matchups in the NBA.
Your homerism is showing. I'm surprised you didn't throw in the Colorado Rapids tomorrow. You got the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets. Throw into the trifecta. We should see what it pays. Although the Rapids are on the road in D.C., Rapids are +190.
Add Colorado Eagles next game. You got a superfecta.
No, I like Julio, but I don't think the opposite will happen. I want to see what the Dallas Stars and L.A. Clippers pay.
Yeah.
$1,000 was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing for my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. Yeah. You did Dr. J Dames.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a little bit frustrating. I had the Warriors, but I had the over in the game. The over hit, so I get the split. A lot of splitting tonight. I'm not down with this. A lot of splitting tonight, but then I bet the in-game over 223.5. They got to 222. So it is what it is. We lose by that. The boxing bets I put in actually sort of saved the night a bit. I see I'm pretty much in a break-even mode tonight. So on to tomorrow. It is what it is. I was hoping the Winnipeg Jets could win tonight, and I'd cash that plus 400 to Jets in 6, but didn't happen. So Kentucky Derby, what's your picks tomorrow, Cam, for the Kentucky Derby?
I like Sovereignty like everybody else. I'm starting to get scared. Who else do I like? I like that 21 horse, the new horse, Tony Finn's horse who got scratched. It's the best. I like the 10. He scratched Tony. I like the 21. It's crazy position on the box, but that horse is really, really good. So Sovereignty. And I'm actually thinking Sandman can come in the top 3 or 4. I like that horse.
To Tony Finn's defense, unfortunately for him, his father passed away last week. He was on the road this week, so he was out of the loop. And he said, he goes, I've been in Kansas City, and I just traveled. I just got back. I didn't know about the scratch. And then he goes, I'm not fully up on the Derby. But the funny thing is, I'm like, you're the one that brought it up. I didn't. He goes, I got some Derby pick for you. I'm like, I didn't ask you.
Yeah,
you're the one that brought it up. Like, I didn't ask you.
Pick the baseball, Finn.
I asked you, I got a Derby pick, and then the one horse he gives is scratch. Those two good.
That guy's amazing.
All right, so my pick for the Derby tomorrow. Listen, we all know I always take the winner of the Florida Derby, but the problem is the winner of the Florida Derby is not in this damn race. Sovereignty finished second in the Florida Derby, so it's sort of the next best thing. Sovereignty right now is plus 550. I think the favorite's going to win. I think Journalism is going to win, but I think Sovereignty will be second or third. So I'm going to play the exact is 13.5 to 1. Not bad. Plus 13.45. Journalism 1, Sovereignty 2. As far as the longer shots that I think can get into the money here, I think Citizen Bull at 12 to 1, the one horse. I don't like the post, but Citizen Bull at 12 to 1. I like that horse. And Flying Mohawk is just a personal pick. It's 66 to 1 right now, Cam. 14 to 1. 14 to 1 to show. So 14 to 1 to finish in third place. Flying Mohawk.
Flying Mohawk has a lot to offer because the horse, as we mentioned, is only 5 or 6 do well in the slop, and that's his MO. He likes rainy, wet tracks, and they say they're calling for rain there. Flying Mohawk could. Hey, man, we've had 80 to 1s, 90 to 1s.
And this Tistastic horse, too, 20 to 1. I think this, you know what? You got Asmussen and Rosario here together. 20 to 1, not bad odds. Not a lot of great horses in this race. So you can just sort of throw darts here, guys, right, with the trifecta. But I don't think it's flashy or sexy. But I do say that I think that Journalism is going to win. Julio, you've brought this up before. The Chicago Fire. 8-2 to the over. These guys, all they do is score goals. This is what's amazing. Over 2.5, 80% of their games over 2.5. So 8-2. 60% of their games over 3.5. It's just been straight cash. The Chicago Fire games to the over. No reason not to play over 2.5 again tomorrow.
It's one of those portfolio plays, Gabe. I'm in Jerusalem again.
Sorry, that was like CNN with Wolf Blitzer. Sorry, I apologize. Go on.
It's a portfolio play, so I agree with you, Gabe. Give me over 2.5 goals, over 3.5 goals. Keep the money train going.
And speaking of money trades, the Vancouver Whitecaps have been one of the best bets in sports. They're back in action tomorrow, just in constant terrible spots, one bad spot after another. This is literally their 4th game in 9 days. So they played it. One thing I do believe, though, they came back like after the game. I think they got drunk on the plane. So they came back after the game. So they landed in Vancouver overnight, Thursday morning and whatnot. But they've pretty much been invincible. Like, it sounds crazy to say, but they've been in a bad spot all the time because the MLS schedule, you generally play either like every Wednesday and then the weekend or one. These teams right now have been playing once a week for the most part. Since the Whitecaps have been in this other tournament, they played an extra 8 games. So they played 8 Wednesdays, and then they got to play on the weekend all the time. But they keep winning, and I expect the Whitecaps to get it done tomorrow. Let's go with the Whitecaps minus 163 to beat Salt Lake, and let's go over 2.5 as well. Even though the Whitecaps are kind of hard to score, I think the Caps will put some goals in the net. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.